Friday, Mellotron. Hey, what's up, guys? I didn't do a setup for tonight, meaning I usually put out a story to say that I'm doing it. But again, the past few weeks have been so crazy that to the very last second, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to do a live stream tonight because I'm just tired. Been working hard. Hey, what's up, Will? Fernando. Maybe February. What's up? So since I didn't put out a topic for this week, I was going to let you guys know that what I was thinking in the 3.5 seconds between finishing my job and coming to talk to you guys was I was going to talk about the difference between animating in television versus animating on a feature film. A lot of people don't have all the information on what that's like. And I was just going to give you guys a little bit of insider view at the differences between the two. And if you guys had questions specifically, I could help you with that. Or maybe give you some answers. Hey, what's up, XBWE? Yo, Johnny Laura. Hey, everybody. Just telling folks, I'm going to be talking tonight about the difference of animating television versus animating in feature film. And one of the reasons that I want to talk about that tonight is because one of my students just got a job offer to work on Robot Chicken. I'm so proud of him. You guys should definitely go follow him at Kritara. His name is Vincent. And I'm going to tell you his exact thing right now because I'm not a super pro with my animation character people. Cretamation, I think, or something like that. But I'm going to tell you. Cretanimator, Vinny Kritara. Vincent. He's one of my students and he's very excited to be entering the television animation world. He's leaving New York, uprooting his whole world to go work in the biz. So go check him out, Cretanimator. Check out his work. Give him a follow. He's another one of us out there. He's been working with me for, I don't know, close to 6 months maybe now, every week. And we're working on getting him to where he wanted to be, which is to work as a professional animator. So every week we're working on that. And right now he's scrambling to move because he got a job offer. I'm really proud of him. Mellotron, you're awesome, man. Love your animations. You have an incredible gift. I'm always inspired by your work. Thank you, Mellotron. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. I love animating. And I am animating around the clock. Trying to create content here for the channel. And then also because I love it. And I do it for a living. So it keeps me busy. Working on the computer and working in the garage. Yeah, so I was just going to give it a couple minutes for people to get here, and then I will go ahead and jump into the topic. So I'll answer a couple questions while we're waiting to get going here. What advice would you give to kids who want to do good stop motion? This is from CyberXCA. And I know I've answered this question for a lot of people. And what makes good animation is always understanding the craft of animation. So I'm telling you that, like Animator Survival Kit, the craft of animation, the fundamentals of animation, the principles of animation. That's what makes the difference between good animation and great animation or bad animation. So if you're applying the principles, which I just said, clean arcs, anticipation, good posing, follow through, offsets, weight, you're gonna do great. So that's my advice to you guys, or to the young one who asked. I think animations are good, but I don't see them getting into the business. Well, it's Marvel Wars 1. Anyone can do anything. I'm telling you, your only limit is your imagination and your work ethic, pretty much. So if you want to get into the business, absolutely can do it. Anyone can do it. It's just hard work. It's just hard work. Go live and anyone who could see this person's life. All right. Well, I gave it a few minutes here. I will kick off. So, talking about this, like I said, is partly because Vincent, my student, is going to work in television, right? So I'm trying to prepare him mentally for the differences between animating in TV versus animating in a feature film. And I've been educating him, trying to just teach him the fundamentals of what that good animation is. But now you have to be able to perform and get a lot of seconds, a quota. You have to meet a quota every single day, usually around 8 to 10 seconds on a show like Robot Chicken or something like that. And what that means is you have to be economic in your decisions, in your animation decisions, right? So if you're doing a scene with multiple characters, you can't be touching every puppet, every frame. You'll never get your work done. If you're animating dialogue and acting, you can't be flowing constantly between your actions. So a lot of the work is done pose to pose. So you'll notice that style if you ever watch television, like Robot Chicken or Super Mansion or any show that's out there right now, Crossing Swords. A lot of it, Crossing Swords is special because it's such limited figures, but a lot of it is still the same kind of principles as far as moving between one pose to another pose that basically illustrate the story economically. You still apply the fundamentals of animation, which are your anticipations. You see, I went through that today with my students, and how you're transitioning, having a strong breakdown as you're moving from one pose to the next pose, not just hitting a wall, but doing a little bit of follow through, easing in, easing out of your moves. This is going to make things seem much more natural, even in pose to pose, where you have long periods of time where you might not touch much of the puppet. As long as that pose is telling the story you needed to tell, you might do a little bit of head work or minor other bits, but you're probably going to live in that pose for a little bit before you shift to the next one. One of the other big differences, obviously, so when you're working on a feature film, it's not like that. They want stuff very often to be very natural, not pose to pose, to have natural physics, maybe more natural timing and weight. So you also get to block in feature film versus television, where the director comes and talks to you and gives you what they want, and then you're off. You have to think, improvise on your feet. What is the acting going to be? You have to imagine it, and then you do it. And then it has to get to the finish line by the end of the day. So that's acting in television versus acting in film, where you really think about your shot and you really are thinking about how it links up completely to another shot, and the behaviors are the way your character's acting on model. Are they you might shoot reference, you might, obviously with a block you're going to get feedback, you go and try it on twos, you're refining your timing 3 times for every single shot in a feature film. It doesn't work like that in television. Television is fast and furious. You are learning as you go, and you are making mistakes as you go. And because of the fast and furious nature of television, you do learn a lot, and way faster than most people learn in stop motion, because the turnarounds are so quick and you're presented with new scenarios very fast. So you have got to be learning and absorbing, and what I say is studying, because one of the things that's very similar working on a television show or a feature film is study. So I'm having my student right now watch Robot Chicken, watch a bunch of TV stop motion. Frame through it, one frame at a time. Break it down. What are they doing? How are they transitioning? Yeah. Hey, I'm doing a live stream. Oh, hey. What is successful? What is not successful? What is the timing? Are you seeing a timing patterns? What is funny? Funny humor is in timing so often, so you can see how far the characters are pushing their poses in television or on a certain show, because there's styles to every show. I'm trying to prepare him for that and also share some of that with you guys who are doing anything from toymation, which can have its own style, or to feature film or television, or just garage films, like a lot of us are. One of the other big differences on a feature film versus television is your armatures. Like if you're working at Leica or you're working at any of the major feature studios like Pinocchio or Wendell and Wild, the movies that are happening right now, you're dealing with nice armatures, machined ball and socket armatures that are really able to move at tiny increments, very often in a very fine way. And when you work in television, you're working with wire puppets, and very often, limited. And that's part of the style, right? Is that it's not as refined, or it's rougher and it looks a lot more stop motion-y. But there's a bunch of things that come with that, like bounce back on your wire, or things break in a different way. Limitations in how much posing you can get. So maybe like a little contrapposto in the shoulders and hips might be harder to get with a wire puppet, while with an armatured puppet you can really get some really human-like skeletal behavior in your puppets. So you obviously are going to work with whatever you got, and in television that is a big part of the game, is getting used to working with wired puppets. You're still using tie downs. You're using, I think in Robot Chicken they use replacement hands nowadays. You're doing sticker mouths. Used to do sticker mouths. I think again a lot less of that now than there used to be, because they might be finding that digital mouths are faster in a lot of cases. So I think sometimes they still do sticker mouths, but a lot of shows are now doing purely digital mouths, because the animators can just move faster, because it takes time to pull your tweezers out, to put the mouth shape on, to lose it under the table, to find it, take 10 minutes to find the shape that you just lost, an eyelid. There's enough things going on with every frame of animation to slow you down, and being a television studio, they want to get more stuff done faster. So I'm sure that's why they decided to do a lot more digital mouths these days. In feature film, you're prevising basically your facial performance these days before you even get out to the set. And previs is a CG term. When I was working on Paranorman, or when Coraline was being made, the stop motion animator would sit right down with the CG animator literally next to them, and they would tell the CG animator what they were wanting, and they would work together to get the performance, the facial performance, which is mouth and brows, because you're still animating the eyes as part of the puppet. And then you would output that, get an approval from the director, and then take it out to set and adjust from there. Paranorman was still like that. Box Trolls, they started moving a little bit more away from that, where they started having the facial animators kind of do the animation separately to the main, puppet animators, which is, I thought, was a little crazy, but they seemed to make it work. And by the time I think Missing Link was going on, I think almost all the facial animation was done completely separately. So that's feature. Television, like I said, you're doing either sticker mouths, or you're doing clay eyebrows, clay blinks, or on some shows you might have a nice little kit to do blinks or eye stuff, but all of that is just on the spot, on set, you as you go, animate. So you're improvising your way through it, just like you are your animation of the day on whatever shot you're working on. So that's a pretty big difference. There's little things like television, I was telling my student, has weeklies. And for any of you who don't really know what that is, it's kind of a cool thing that happens where after a week of work has been done on a television show or feature film, this is one of the things that's similar, you actually kind of have a little party on Friday, right? So everyone kind of celebrates the week's work. And there's drinks, and they kind of screen the approved shots for whatever show you're on, movie, whatever. And then everyone kind of has a chance to gather and chat and connect and celebrate, like, a week's work is done. That's a very cool thing that I really liked about getting into television and feature film, because coming from the CG world, we didn't really have weeklies where I was, where we would celebrate kind of finishing certain things. It was kind of like always going, and maybe it's different at certain studios, but the places that I worked, including Blizzard, you celebrate kind of when the show is done, but you don't really celebrate till that happens. They'll have like a wrap party, or private screenings or something like that you can really celebrate too. Here, I got a question I'm going to answer. Let's see here. What's your inspiration to keep animating? From Marvel Wars 1. I love it. It's magic. I know I talk about it all the time. It's magic. It feels like I'm bringing life and creating life and illusions of these characters coming to life, breathing and thinking. And I get so high off that stuff. A really cool performance, a believable action, telling stories is incredibly rewarding. So I stay inspired by surrounding myself with things that inspire me. I stay inspired by watching films very often that made me want to do this for a living. I'm constantly pumping. You guys, if anyone's come to my live streams, you know I am constantly pumping movies that I grew up on, or even bad movies, as long as they had something to offer that was kind of interesting, inspiring, or fantastic in some way. That even bad films, sometimes I could get, really pull some inspiration from them, because making any film is really hard. And if you've ever been a part of making a film, it's pretty tough stuff. So I can get inspired by the littlest geeky thing, a camera move, a piece of clothing, a set, bad music, you name it. But I use all of that constantly to inspire me and keep me working. Because right now, just so you know, I am working a lot. And I'm a little tired. But when I get in there and I just focus on my artwork, I feel really, really excited and magical. Okay, what in animation matters most if you want to make a great animation? What in animation matters most? From CyberXCA. What in animation matters most? It all matters. Good animation. So it's kind of hard to break it down to one thing. Strong poses are very important in whatever you're doing. Clean arcs, really important in stop motion, in any animation. But in stop motion, if you want your work to not be a mess to look at, you want it to present well, then you need to make sure your arcs are clean. Just the craft. The craft is the most important thing. Same thing I say every week, the craft. The craft is everything in what makes animation entertaining and magical. Okay. All right. Amazing job. Hugs from Brazil. Hey, what's up, Leo? Do art. I usually analyze stop motions bit by bit to see how other animators move the figures or puppets. That's called study, and that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier. So if I'm working on a TV show and I see another fellow animator or artist do something really cool, I frame through it and I break it down. And I'm like, wow, why does this work so well? What is working about this? Is it how they anticipated? Is it the overshoot? Is it the exaggeration levels? Is it the timing, the spacing? I break it down and I really study. Analyzing and studying other animators' work is so important to your growth. When I'm on a feature film, not only am I filling myself up with inspiration when I watch other animators, work that are contributing to the project, I'm studying it. I'm just studying it, and I'm trying to see, what. It could be anything. It could be from a technical standpoint, or it could be a performance thing, or it could be a rigging thing, or there's so much you can learn by studying other people's shots, because there's so many different problems to be solved, and how they approach a shot can give you just as much information as what the frames look like or what the poses were like. So study is huge in TV. Every day, study, study, study. If you have downtime, don't just sit there. Study. Check it out. Look at what the other people are doing. Can I take you down to the garage? I can take you down to the garage. There's not much to see. I'm animating my monkey right now. But I can take you guys in there. Show you a little bit. Some of you might have been at the live stream. I was animating the past 2 of them. And hey buddy. And during my live streams, my batteries went out on 2 of them, which was really infuriating because I lost some really good information of me animating that I could have shared with people. But it made it that much more special because you only get to see it if you were at the live stream. So yeah, here's my garage. There's my monkey. Some of you know the monkey puppet that I've been making, and I officially started animating it. And I've got some big plans. I've been doing some kind of simple test with it so far, but I'm now working on doing a more complex piece. So I'll show you guys a little peek here. I just got to load it up. You can see a little bit of the monkey moving back here, wiggling around with his big monkey arms. So I started with some simple stuff. Hey! Before I go into some really complicated animation, because he's got wings and he's a monkey, and I want to be able to, 3-dimensionally move this character around and have some fun. I'll get you a little closer there. And the other thing that's really fascinating about this is because it is, clay, I've done 2 animations and this creature completely needed to be resculpted. So I actually took it down last night, offset. I had to rip it to shreds, put the skin back on it, repaint it, and bring it back to life, basically. And it's just something, that's a huge pain in the butt about clay, is the amount of maintenance in it is ridiculous. So that's why I prefer my puppets to be foam latex or silicone. Therefore, I won't have to constantly resculpt. But it's organic and it looks pretty cool. It's got definitely a cool feeling to it. Can we see... Okay, question. E. Garcia Gotson, can we see how you did it so far? I guess you're asking for the monkey that I just showed you. So yeah, I showed you. How does the clay motion from the flying monkey test look. Oh, that's E. Garcia. Yeah, you really wanted to see that thing. I hope you got a little bit there to see before I shut it down there. The next thing I'm going to do is have them fly around. Don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here. I've been working all day, so I haven't been able to think about it, but I have a feeling, just so you know, I'm going to have him jump, swing his arms, jump, do like a 360 thing, and then engage his wings and fly around, and then maybe do something with a potion, I'm considering. Or maybe have him fly up to the camera. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm improvising right now. But maybe tonight I'll kick off on the animation. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not, because I think tonight's date night. Because I missed my Wednesday date night. Awesome. So probably tomorrow or tomorrow night I'll get on it. Free animation. What's the balance between what you want and what you anticipate the audience will want? Interesting. I think this is a really fascinating thing, because I'm trying to succeed as a social media guy, as well as, just have fun and do my own thing. And do you need some? Okay, hey, that's my daughter. So thinking about what the audience wants. I don't think the audience is saying, hey, Justin, make me a flying monkey, right? No, I don't think they're saying that. But I want to make a flying monkey, so I'm doing what I love. I think the audience will like the animation I create, because typically most people respond pretty well to what I animate. It doesn't mean it's going to go viral or do anything, wild or crazy. So I'd say I'd lean more towards doing things I'm interested in and hope that the audience digs it. When I have sat here and tried to really think of something that I think the audience will dig, I don't think it's worked for me so far. I haven't got a lot of, views or recognition in any way. Like my YouTube channel nobody watches it on the views I get, and it's a lot of work. My TikToks and my Instagram, they get some decent views, but Instagram doesn't bring any money in. So it's like, I'm trying to make a living, as well as, with the amount of time and effort it takes to do this kind of stuff, you have to kind of love it. So I just kind of choose things I love and hope that they land with an audience, and then hope, it sets up future gigs, and it sets up opportunities to create and share and teach and talk to you guys. Let's see here. Do you move it inch by inch or a little more? Inches? No, we're talking micro, tiny increments. You move an inch, your character's going to look like it's flying across the room. Very tiny increments. And not just tiny increments, but tiny spacing. So spacing, this is an animation thing for you. There's bigger increments, smaller increments, bigger increments, smaller increments. How much you space your moves apart is where the magic of timing and performance come from. So it's not just making things tiny. It's making choices on how far per animation. That's what's going to make your performance. Okay, what's the best homemade puppet you animated? Was it Tracer puppet your wife made? Not sure. No, it wasn't. Those were cool. They were nice looking puppets. William, they were nice looking puppets, but they didn't move great. My best moving puppet was probably Dober and Flea from Dogonauts. They were foam latex puppets. They were very mobile, had great armatures, a lot of range, cool bodies that I could really do stuff in. So I think they're the best ones I've had. This monkey, if he wasn't made of clay, would work great. But because of the clay melts and squishes, it's a pain in the butt. Yeah, but yeah, I'd say a lot of the stuff that I've animated on Doggonauts was really well built and fun. He wants a Kubo puppet. So do I. Part of the Anomalisa puppets were made on wire. Yes, they were. Hey, H. Franco, what's up? So, free animation. How much do you think the audience plays when you're growing a character compared to your own enjoyment? I mean, creating. I guess you're talking about the same thing. Like, if I'm doing a show, like if I'm sitting here and I'm going to make a YouTube show, you know, I got to believe in my character first off. And then it's got to catch on. And then, you know, after that, it's kind of like the writing, right? So like what your character is, what scenarios they're in, are they entertaining? That kind of stuff. Like I've considered talking to my audience about that in private stuff that you guys don't even know about that I've created, where I can get, there's certain expectations when you create a series with a character and they're instantly available. Like if you have a certain scenario with certain character and the character is strong, your audience could write for you because they know your character and they love the scenarios and they can think of 1,000 funny scenarios with those characters. So I've let a couple people into my world like that, but it's always about my enjoyment more than theirs. But I do consider, of course, my audience. You're the animator for a lot of us. Oh, thank you. What happened to the last monkey video? Oh, yeah, dude, I told you, like, my phone died in the middle, lost it. I lost two. My creature that I was animating, live stream, and then the monkey, the last one I was doing. Totally screwed up. I know, it was so bad. What's up, Jim Randall? What's up? You know you're chill in the stream when you're enjoying food while learning more things about stop motion animation. Awesome. Do what you love, 100%. I agree with that, Jim. You know it. You only live once. Do what you love, guys. Do what you love. Instagram brings you the real people that love watching you. Yeah, it's very kind. I'm still blown away that you guys show up here and talk to me. Awesome. Well, if you guys have any questions, ask them now. Otherwise, I'm going to go hang out with my lady and have a date. But I will be sharing some cool new stuff that I've been working on the side that you guys don't even know about yet, alongside with my monkey, very soon. So this next animation I'm going to do with the monkey is probably going to take me like 3 days. It's pretty big, but I'll give you one more peek before I go of the some of the animation here. Hey, what's going on? Uh-oh, it's froze up. No animation for us. Oh, weird. It like totally froze. All right, one last question. Have you ever animated with the cat in the room? Freemanation. Freemanimation. No, I have not animated with a cat in the room, but I usually animate in the garage. My cat doesn't like a cold garage. I've had him come in a few times, jump up on the table, but not really. Once we used to have a little doggy door in our old garage, and the cat would come through that, but he wouldn't really get up on the set. And you guys did hear that one story where I was animating Gerald's last day, and Gerald was throwing the dog bowl around, getting all crazy, and food particles were going everywhere. And I used the cat food because it was so small, it fit the dog scale, right? And as I supported the cat food overnight on all these wires, there was like I don't know, 15 pieces of food. When I came back in the morning, the cat had eaten all of the particles of food from my animation, and I had to repair that somehow. And I got away with it. It magically worked. But I remember coming in and going like, no, because it was like a really difficult shot with a lot of things going on. But it was a lot of, that's my cat story. All right, so I will see you guys. Thanks for showing, and I will keep cranking. You too. Bye.